is a nightmare. Man, that's the way it seems. Life is a nightmare.
Welcome to Today in Horrible History, your daily moment of historical misfortune. For January 23rd, 2022, we travel back to January 23rd, 1570 on the Julian calendar. On that date, Earth had its first assassination of a head of state with a firearm, the victim being James Scott, the first Earl of Moray, Regent of Scotland. Many leaders have since caught a bullet or two, but someone had to be first. We need to make Aristotle proud and define a couple of things. A regent is a royal figure who, as an adult, rules as a placeholder for the rightful heir to the throne while that heir is still a child. In this case, Scott was ruling in the place of King James VI of Scotland while he was but an infant. We should also explain Scotland at the time. Scotland was a fully independent country in 1570 with its own throne. It was not until the early 18th century that the kingdoms of England and Scotland were combined into the, wait for it, United Kingdom. The United Kingdom of England, which included Wales and Scotland, resulting in one British monarch. The political climate of 16th century Scotland is too complex to cover here. In short, there were two general camps, those in favor of Mary, Queen of Scots, and those who thought, nah, not so much. In 1567, Mary abdicated the Scottish throne, and her half-brother became regent instead of his nephew. Control of the Scottish throne was at issue. John Hamilton was a veteran of a war against the opposing camp in Scottish politics and was the literal triggerman in a plot to take out the regent. Hamilton set up on a balcony behind a laundry line of sheets. I'm not kidding. This is what happened, folks. Set up behind a laundry line of sheets, set up as cover, and shot the Earl, who was on horseback, dead. The weapon used was a carbine, an early bored rifle with a shortened barrel, although in most artistic depictions it was inaccurately portrayed as a flintlock musket. We can have gun people explain the difference and argue among themselves in the comments. Hamilton basically got away with murder. I'll now read you an account from the contemporary diary of one Robert Murrell in a horrible attempt at a Scottish accent. Please forgive me. The Earl of Moray, the good regent, was slain in Linlithgow by James Hamilton of Unpronounceable, who shot the said regent with a gun out at ein window, and presently thereafter fled out the back and leapt on a very good horse, which the Hamiltons had ready waiting for him, and, being followed speedily after that spear and wand had felled him, he drew forth his dagger and struck his horse behind, which caused the horse to leap a very broad stank, by which means he escaped. I know that was horrible. Please allow me to forgive everybody of Scottish ancestry, descent, and certainly any Scots listening. According to a DNA test, I'm 7% Scottish, so I'm allowed to do this. In any event, some of Hamilton's co-conspirators were executed for their part in the plot, but the man himself made his way to France and exile with relatives. Not every assassin gets that kind of help. He was eventually convicted in absentia, but lived in France in safety until his death in 1581. Reputedly, Hamilton's France-based family asked him to kill a minor French royal they had some problem with because he was living that thug life now, but he declined. As for the Earl, he was laid to rest at St. Giles Kirk in Edinburgh. My apologies again. Where his assassination is depicted in the stained glass. Be sure to note in the comments whose shooting is depicted in the stained glass at your church. And be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Today in Horrible History. Remember that after a brief visit, the rest of your day can only seem better in comparison.
Life is a nightmare. Man, that's the way it seems. Life is a nightmare.